Builder's Business Black Belt has been absolutely fantastic for my business. We wouldn't have survived without the help of Mick and Julie.
I'm here to tell you that I've experienced all the lows in business, and I'm here and it's all right. And looking back on it, I'm actually glad they happened. They made me a better person and stronger.
So important to have someone that you trust. But if you had found a builder who had a great website, the fat roller was kind of like hanging over my pajamas. I was kind of like, oh man. And I had crow's feet and like my skin was all dry.
It's just full of gold nuggets all over the place. Thanks, James, for being on the show.
Soda water? What are you talking about? It's like, yeah, I'm going to get drunk on this soda water tonight. Watch me swing from the rafters here. Yeah, no, I'm actually taking a break for a while. I've been feeling pretty good. I've lost a bit of weight, so yeah, I'm on the sparkling waters tonight. But let's go crazy. I'll go toe to toe with you. Yeah. You drink a beer, I'll drink a soda water, and everything will be fine. Oh, all right, great, cool.
Because the car won't run without the petrol, and we don't apply that same logic to.
Okay, now you're a freaking weirdo, right? You know my books and sequence. If you have a freaking poster of me above your bed, I wouldn't be surprised. So,
yeah. And in a good way, because you don't want the holiday.
Yes, we definitely have done the right thing. Let's get moving and let's keep up the momentum and keep moving forward as much and as fast as we can to see where we can go with this.
For me, I feel like I'm fresh in the business. I feel like now that I'm excited again, and like I was when I first started, I'm excited to see where it's going to take us. Just loving the overall the building industry again.
I would say it's changed my life, not just the business. So it's life changing.
Probably a bit like Phil, it's changed my life more so than the business. Like I said before, the business is my life, but this has changed my whole attitude towards the building industry. 20 weeks ago, I was ready to jump under a bus. I was sick of it. I've been doing this for so many years. It wasn't getting where I wanted it to be. Now I can see the projection. Everything looks up. Everything looks positive. Yeah, and I'm renewed. I'm ready to start again. Let's see how I go in 20 years.
Yeah,
laughing.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mick, because you're one of the. Like I said, you're the leader. You're the one that did put me on this track, and thank you once again. I know I thank you a lot, but thank you once again.
That's all right. Just before we go, are those fish they very expensive to keep behind you? Do they eat a lot? Do they die very often?
Well, it's an interesting question. I mean, obviously, it's a YouTube video. I can't afford the fish.
it's a pleasure walking life's path with you.
I've been with the Builder's Business Black Belt in various forms over the last 14 or 15 years.
One of the biggest ones and one of the main reasons I joined BBB was to do with the problem of quoting.
This is a complete mindset change, you know, of how things are done, what should be the norm. The flow-on effect from that through the business and through your own personal life has been, you know, in just a few, 12 weeks has been amazing.
Consistent caring, I think, is what makes this group rather special. I'm so privileged to be part of it.
And that's one of the things that we look forward to, or we used to before COVID anyway.
So when people say more turnover will make my business healthier, I say, liar! No, you gotta bitch slap people and wake them up. Because, listen.
This is the Builders Business Success Podcast for builders who want to attract more quality clients who aren't price focused, eliminate cash flow pressure, and get paid for every quote. Here's your host, Mick Hawes.
Hey folks, welcome to another Builders Business Success Podcast. I was a bit delayed in getting started there because I was watching a 15-second delay on the monitor instead of what was actually happening. So I've been told to go, and I'm waiting, and so that's why there was a big gap there. So yes, welcome to episode 55. It is episode 55, and we're getting closer, very close to the end of creating the content for the book. So we started many moons ago using the content for the podcast to create the content for the book. So we've got an end-to-end, right from the start to from the attract all the way through to scaling your building business, all in one space in this book. So we're getting very, very close to the end. What we're talking about, or the content that we're covering today, it's all about you this time. It's all about the personal success ritual. So we're going to talk about rituals and how this personal success ritual can make a massive difference to your own productivity, how you feel, your mindset, the outcomes that you can accomplish on a daily basis. To me, it's one of those foundational, fundamental parts of the whole process that it's just critical, because I think everything can be affected very positively and powerfully by integrating this personal success ritual into your day. Of course, we're going to do Q&A, and of course, we're going to use our floating light bulb here for the idea of the week. Can we get a shot of the floating light bulb and people can see the floating light bulb? I can't see it anywhere. I'm just assuming that you can see it. But anyway, that's our new idea of the week. And so we'll be definitely sharing a fantastic idea with you. If you've never participated, listened to, watched one of these podcasts before, the purpose of it is to help the owners of a building business. If you've been in the building industry a little while, running your own business, or even a long while, you will have come up against one or a number of many costly, frustrating problems. And the cool thing is, what we do with this podcast is we share with you not theory, but processes that we know work, because we speak with our Builders Business Black Belt members every single day, and we talk about what's working, what's not, what are the problems, come up with solutions to those problems, procedures, processes, tools, templates, whatever is necessary to help either eliminate or overcome these problems. And we talk every day and ask, how is that working? Is it working well? Is it working in this situation? Is it working in that situation? So we're constantly refining how we do things, and what gets shared with you here on this podcast is the stuff that we know that works. So we're always talking about being paid for quotes instead of doing free quotes, and there's still people out there in the building game that say you're an idiot to me, and they may well be right, but they're not on that point that if you charge for quotes or if you don't do quotes for free, you won't have a business. That's a common comment in the Facebook pages and so forth, and it's just not true. We've got builders that are being paid for their for their proposals every single day, and more often than not, they're the most expensive if they are even competing with another builder, and yet they still get the go-ahead because it represents so much value. So if you want to know how to do that, you know what to do. You can reach out to us. We can jump on a call. We can show you exactly what you need to do in your building business to start doing that. So let's fly into this today. As I mentioned, the content of the podcast today is surrounding this thing that is called the personal success ritual. I need to give some credit to a chap by the name of Eben Pagan for this. He's an internet marketer. I don't know him personally, but I did buy a course of his many, many moons ago. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because the mindset of what I'm about to share with you is absolutely critical. So I bought a $2,000 program from him, and one of the bonuses was some time management training. Now, for your information, I've been involved in time management for over 30-something years. One of the first things I did as a coach was I was flown by a company called Daytimer all around the country. I was on about a half dozen to a dozen planes a week flying around Australia teaching time management because it had such a profound effect on me. I wanted to teach it, so I got involved in this company and I started to teach it. And then we started our own company and refined it. And bottom line is I've been involved in time management and personal effectiveness for a long, long time. And one of the bonuses that Eben had with his program was a time management thing. And I just remember thinking that, oh, well, you know, it's not really a bonus for me. What would I be able to learn? You know, in relation to time management, I've been doing it for so long. And fortunately, I caught myself having that thought and gave myself a mental slap around and say, Head, how dare you be so closed-minded and think that you know everything. Lucky I did give myself that talk, because I did open up the bonus that Eben sent through, and it was all about what he called the personal success ritual. And it blew me away. I'd never heard it before. I saw how powerful it was, started using it, started implementing it, and then over the years have refined it. And that's what I want to share with you today. And the purpose or the importance of the personal success ritual really is in the word ritual. It needs to be done every day. In Builders Business Black Belt, we encourage our members to do it every single day. And there are challenges within the group to how to get to as many unbroken days as possible, you know. And I think the last one that I was aware of was in the 700s. So one of our members was up around 700 odd days without a miss. So that's 7 days a week. That's when you're away without internet connections and power and all that sort of stuff. You set yourself up so you've got all of the resources to be able to do this no matter where you are or what you're doing. The PSR is valuable because it makes every moment in your day far more valuable. And the cool thing about it is it taps into this whole prevention is better than the cure. Because if you're using this personal success ritual, what will happen for the most part is that you will eliminate problems before they even occur. That's one of the powerful things about it. So if you're eliminating issues and problems and challenges before they even occur, think of how much time you're saving, because you don't have to put time into managing those things or solving those things. So we avoid problems that we create with our thinking by using the personal success ritual. And we also avoid problems that we create with our poor planning by using the personal success ritual. So the personal success ritual has 4 steps, 3 of which we're going to unpack today. The 4th one is going to have a whole podcast episode all on its own because it's so powerful. And I've just got a message from Hugh. He's in the chat here in one of the Facebook groups, and he's got 3 broken days this week with a sad face emoji with his personal success ritual. The thing is with that is that you can start again, okay? The value is, though, when you start to get the compounding effect of the personal success ritual. But before I get into the detail of it, the one last thing I want to share with you is that it's called a personal success ritual. It's not a business success ritual. And the reason I say that is because I believe the single most important human contributor to the success of a business is the business owner. And I often ask this question in the Facebook group: which is the most important? Is it the customer? Is it the team? Is it the business owner? Very rarely does anyone say the business owner. Most people say customer. You know, you haven't got a business without a customer. I get that, but the quality of the person that can make the biggest difference in the success of a business is the business owner, not the quality of the customer. If you've got a crappy business owner, you have a poor team, and the customers don't get looked after, so they don't come back and they don't see value and all of that sort of stuff. If you've got an amazingly skilled, positive, proactive example as a business owner, generally the team just feed off that, and you get this amazing team that looks after your customer, that helps you grow your business, helps you increase the quality of your customer's experience. And everything goes up from there. So you need to be putting your oxygen mask on first, looking after yourself as a priority and becoming the best possible example you can for your team, and the rest will flow from that. And so this is where it starts, the personal success ritual. So the first step in the personal success ritual is, I'll tell you that in a minute, but when should you do the personal success ritual? You should do it as soon as your feet hit the carpet. It's actually good to do this personal success ritual when you're in a bit of a groggy state, right? Rather than getting up, having a shower, having your breakfast, sitting down at your desk and going, right, let's do the personal success ritual. What I suggest you do, as soon as you sit up out of your bed and you sort of stagger over, maybe you can hit the head first, go to the toilet first, just real quick, but then you need to be into the personal success ritual. And the first step is to become somewhat inspired. And this is a bit of a challenge, so you may need to use an external stimulant. And I don't mean any sort of drug or anything like that. Jump on the interwebs or have something prepared on your phone or what have you. There is a particular video that I've used for a long time. It's one I recommend. It's really old now, but it's got so many fantastic messages in it. And so you use a video, or you can use music, or you can read a passage from a book, or you can listen to something. But the bottom line is that step one of your personal success ritual is to get in a somewhat inspired state. The more inspired, the better. Now, this is called external motivation. I am not a fan of external motivation, except in this instant. I think external motivation, a lot of people, and I'm generalising here, but I've been to America quite a few times, and I find that Americans really love the external motivation and seek it out and really go berserk, which is fine, but I think that it's not the best type of motivation. It is useful in some circumstances, such as this personal success ritual, but really if you need external motivation all of the time, it's not going to work. Because I think external motivation is a little bit like jumping in a really hot bath. It's wonderful when you jump in, it feels really good, but it gets cold fairly quickly. So you need to keep adding the hot water to keep it warm. That's what external motivation is about. What I want you to get to is the point where you are motivated and inspired internally by what you're focusing on, by what you're chasing, by what you're trying to create, by who you're trying to become, by what you're trying to achieve. That internal inspiration, an internal motivation, pardon me, is really the key here. The next step is the thing called the 60-second success system. And this step is just a mindset thing. It's a physical exercise where you get a pad and a pen. And the challenge is to write down anything and everything that would be just amazing. But there are some caveats, and that is that it needs to be impossible. I think that's the easiest way to say. You'd love to become this or accomplish this or have this or experience this, but there is nowhere in your belief system that says, yes, that's possible. I want you to write down impossible things. So anything that you'd like to have, become, experience, accomplish, but without any limits to time, talent, or money. That's the challenge. And the interesting thing with this is that this is why you need step one. You need to be in a little bit of an inspired mindset to be able to utilize the value of this 60-second success system. The old days, it used to be called, we called it the dream catcher. Same process, but we've created the 60-second success system and put a timer on it. So we say, just do it for 60 seconds, start the clock, go crazy for 60 seconds, and then when the buzzer goes, stop. the reason that I did that, folks, is because sometimes some people would do it for a while, like 3, 4, 5 minutes, but they mightn't do it the next day or the next day. I want you to get a run on and then stop it to create that hunger, to make sure you do it every day, because the real secret sauce with the personal success ritual is every day, every day, every day, every day. And also doing things to improve the quality of each part of the 4 steps of the personal success ritual. So you write all of these things down, the things that you'd love to have, love to experience, love to accomplish, love to become, but it's impossible. Why do we do that? Because we're stepping into a place where anything is possible. And what that does is it starts to chip away at our self-imposed limitations. When you speak and take most adults, almost all adults, through a goal-setting process, it's very dull and very boring, and a very common response I'll get to this is, I just can't seem to find anything that really inspires me. I can't find anything that captures my imagination when it comes to goal setting. Like, most goals for most adults are really dull and boring. I wonder why they don't get accomplished, because they don't grab people by the emotions, by the heartstrings, keep them up late, get them up early through passion to chase down these goals. So we've got to be able to allow ourselves to create goals that capture our imagination so they get done, so they get chased, so they become a focus. But because we have these self-imposed limitations, it's really difficult to write goals that inspire us. So this step 2, the 60-second success system, is absolutely critical. And it's absolutely critical that you do it every day, because you're just chipping away. The amazing thing is, if you just spend 60 seconds or a couple of minutes in this place in your mind where anything is possible, then when you go to the goal setting, you'll find that what you thought was impossible before in your real life has a small semblance of possibility. The things that you thought were going to be really difficult don't seem to be so difficult anymore. And so it becomes possible for you to have an inspirational thought, let it run down your arm through the pen and get onto paper and become a goal. And the one thing that I want to really make clear is that the 60-second success system part, so step 2, is a warm-up exercise. It's not about goal setting. It's getting you ready for goal setting. And then step 3 is goal setting. And there are multiple ways that you can utilize this goal setting section. Again, I would suggest you put a timer on it. So have a countdown timer for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that, where you are doing one of 3 things. You are creating goals, you're identifying goals, things that you would like to accomplish personally or professionally. That's one thing that you can do in that time. The second thing you can do in that time is start to unpack what is necessary to be done to achieve or accomplish these goals. Okay? Or step 3, or part 3, or action 3 is just be with your goals. You don't need to create new goals every day. Once you've unpacked those goals, you don't need to figure out what more you can do. You can just spend time with those goals and reread them and maybe add a little bit of detail, or see yourself having accomplished those goals, or see yourself doing the activity that is related to that goal. Basically, just spend time with your goals. I don't know how many people I've seen who they get all inspired and they write goals, and maybe it's New Year's Eve or something like that, or they go to a motivational workshop or whatever, and they write this stuff and it ends up in the top drawer, and 12 months later they go to another one and find the old goals from 12 months ago. You've got to spend time with them. And the one last thing I'll say on these goals is that it is totally okay not to accomplish a goal if you've got something better. through the 60-second success system, you become more inspired, you can see further, you can think bigger, and you come up with something that is much more attractive, something you have more passion for than the current goal. I don't have an issue with you scrapping that current goal and going and putting your energy into the thing that you've got more passionate about. In fact, I'd encourage you to do that. Don't get into that situation where I'm not writing any more goals until I finish these. That's bullshit. You can chuck them out. It doesn't matter. The thing is, I want you to be inspired. I want you to be motivated and passionate about what you're doing, not in this situation where I have to do this, you know, and you're carrying on like that and all tripping over your bottom lip because I have to do this and I can't do this. That's exactly what I want you to get away from. So I don't have an issue with you chucking away those goals as long as they're being replaced by something that is giving you more energy. So step 1 is something to get you inspired. Step 2 is the 60-second success system. Step 3 is being with your goals, creating them, unpacking them, or just spending time with them. Step 4 is a thing called the prioritized daily action list. And this is how to create a quality written plan that can, without too much effort, cut your working day in half. I don't think it's that difficult to get someone to increase their productivity, their effectiveness by 400%. You might think, well, I work really, really hard now. Well, you might, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're accomplishing what you really are dreaming about. It doesn't mean that you're effective. It just means that you're using up a lot of energy and perhaps going around in circles, and you are busy. Busy doesn't equal effective. So there is this thing that is called the prioritized daily action list that can make a massive difference in your personal productivity every day and really get significantly more done, more accomplished, more achieved by having a proper quality system to set up your day. And that's the 4th step. There's a little bit to that. So that's why we're not doing it in this episode. We'll definitely be doing it in a future episode, the prioritized daily action list. So look out for that. So the 4 steps to the personal success ritual, once again, is the inspiration. So grab yourself a video. There's plenty of them on the interwebs that really gets your blood pumping. It needs to be first thing as soon as you get out of the bed. Next thing is do 60 seconds, so a countdown timer. Anything that's super cool without limits, do the clock thing, you know, and just write, and really challenge yourself to write down the most crazy, zany, embarrassing stuff. Once you've written that down, you can burn the list, you can eat it, you can get rid of the evidence, it doesn't matter. Once you've done the exercise and been able to write down that thought, job done. Then you move into your goals for 3 to 5 minutes. Then we spend a couple of minutes putting together a very, very powerful list for directing your day, and we'll go through that next time. So I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions about it, you know what to do. And in fact, I'd love you to do this anyway. In the comment section, there is a link. There's a couple of links, in fact. If you're watching this live, there's a link that's got Restream in it somewhere, which is the platform that we're using to go all over the place now to YouTube and a bunch of different Facebook platforms. If you click that link, that just gives Restream permission to let us know who you are. And I've noticed Adrian is with us and he's put the hashtag live in there. Thank you very much for doing that. If you are watching us live, put hashtag live. If you end up watching the replay, put hashtag replay. But if you use the link in the comment section, it's got restream.io/Facebook, something like that. If you click that, it just gives the platform permission so we know who is making the comment, and it just makes it a little better so we know who's watching and we can say hey to you live. The other link, probably the more important link, if there is something that you feel that you want to talk to us about, if you want help to learn how to get paid for your proposals, learn how to do your personal success ritual, learn how to implement profit first and get an ever-growing, increasing profit account full of cash that's just for you. If you want to learn any of that sort of stuff, just click that link, book a call. It'll take you to a little form. You'll fill it out. We'll jump on a call at a time that suits you and see whether we can point you in the right direction and help you out with that. So Q&A, the question that was asked, not this week, but a little while ago, was about someone was a little frustrated with interruptions. And they said, how do we eliminate interruptions? This kind of plays into this prioritised daily action list a little bit as well. So you'll need to make sure you keep your eyes open for that training in that next episode of this podcast. But one of the things with interruptions is we tend to attract them. If we are the type of person who is, got 7 balls in the air at any one time, and we're a bit of a believer in multitasking and all of that sort of stuff, and we think that we can do multiple things at once, we tend to be the type of person that will attract interruptions. We'll notice them, we'll react to them. Whereas somebody who is really connected to, focused on their high leverage activities, the things that are directly connected to the goals that they're super passionate about. And this kind of makes sense with what we're talking about with the PSR. Those type of people tend not to even see those interruptions and distractions because they are so focused. In the big idea, I want to share with you this some things I've been learning from a book called Deep Work. And that'll help you to understand this a little bit more as well. But the key with it is having a full plan. Some time management gurus that I've heard suggest that you allow time for interruptions in your planning each day. And my response to that is this: bullshit. Do not do that. Have a completely full dance card of things that are really going to make a big difference to achieving your goals, both personally and professional, and allow no room for these interruptions or distractions. So you've got to have high leverage stuff in your plan, so it's all but automatic for you to say no to the distraction or the interruption, because the thing you've got on your list is so important. And I've forever used this same analogy over and over, that when you're on your way to catch an aeroplane and you're only just going to make it on time, you're not going to stop and feed your mate's cat because he's asked you to do a favour. You're not going to do those things. You're totally focused on where you're going and where you've got to be at a certain time, and nothing's going to get in your way. And there's a sense of urgency about that. That same sense of urgency, commitment, focus, connection can be created every single day if you can create a good quality plan that is full of actions that are directly connected to goals that you're super passionate about. And I'll guarantee you, once you master that, you won't get interruptions, you won't get distractions. And if you do, you will effortlessly say no to them. And as I said, it'll probably be the next episode next week that we'll unpack the prioritised daily action list. And that is my absolute best answer on how to eliminate interruptions. There are all sorts of other suggestions, but I think let's just cut to the chase. And it's really up to you. And if you've got a really high quality plan that you're passionate about and connected to, you won't even see the interruptions. And if someone keeps persisting, you will effortlessly say no to that interruption or that distraction if it's taking away from something that you know is really passionate or you're really passionate about. So it's time to use our light bulb. We're going to use our light bulb now because it's idea of the week. Used to be personal productivity hack, but seeing we've got a levitating light bulb, we had to change it and go for idea of the week. So the idea of the week is to have you go listen to a copy, and it's fairly challenging to listen to, but I highly recommend it, a book called Deep Work. And it's just dispelling this whole myth that multitasking is a great way of getting lots of things done. I've always been a believer and a proponent of multitasking sucks big time. Like, multitasking in my world is the way to waste the biggest time, the most time. That's the technique that you use if you want to waste a lot of time. Yet people persist, and there are still gurus out there that teach you about multitasking, and it's just bullshit. And there is so much evidence and so many stories in this book, Deep Work, to help you understand that if you really, really are committed to getting things done, and it's super important, the projects that you're working on and what have you, having massive time blocks is the way to do it, and cutting yourself off from the world to be able to do it, and not having little interruptions and bings and notifications going off and phones beeping and all of that sort of stuff. You've got to get rid of all of that sort of thing and put yourself in a place, because it takes a while to get into a mindset of concentration, of deep concentration. And if you keep going, I'll keep my eye on that while I'm doing this, and that bings, and I'll just reply to that, and all. If you're doing that while you're trying to work on something that is really high leverage, that is super important for the forward momentum of your business or any part of your life, or goals that you've got, you're really shooting yourself in the foot if you're trying to do it in this distracted way. You will get significantly, and I mean significantly, more done if you time block, but use significant time blocks. I know that there are certain things you can do with a 15 or a 20-minute time block, but and previously I've said 55 minutes is probably the limit, or 50 minutes for a time block, and then a 10-minute reward. What I'm learning through Deep Work is it's okay to have like a 90-minute time block if you're really cutting yourself off from all distractions. So get yourself a copy of that. It's counterintuitive. It's not what most people feel that they should do. They feel that they should be available and all of this sort of stuff. It's just not true. And I'd love you to get a copy, rather than me explaining it to you. Get a copy of that book and absolutely devour it, because it is amazing. I can't remember the author's name. Doesn't matter. The book is called Deep Work. You can get it on audible.com.au, or you can buy a hard copy, whatever you want. Just depends on whether you like listening or whether you like reading. So what is the takeaway from this here podcast that has ended and has gone over time as per usual, which I'm getting a little bit better, but not much. The takeaway is you have so much more control over your business performance, and that is the workflow and the profitability, the client quality that the quality of clients that you work with, and your own personal experience than you think you have. And if you get into a personal success ritual, if you start to use prioritized daily action lists, if you start to get into that mindset that we've taken from the Deep Work book, you won't know yourself. You'll be able to accomplish so much more. You'll have so fewer distractions. You'll make so much more progress, which gives you confidence and hardens your resolve to continue with these disciplines and with these skills, and it can make a massive difference. So I hope this podcast episode was valuable to you. I hope it got you to start to think a little bit deeper. And as I said at the start, we'd love to help you with this. And there are a ton, and it's just a growing amount of resources that we've got out there that we can put you in front of. And we'd love to be able to do that. And how we do that is just get in a real quick conversation. There's a link in the comment section. You just click that. It takes you to a little form. Fill it out so we can learn a little bit about you and your business. We'll jump on a call. You can schedule it in a time or a date that will suit you. It's a real short call to find out where you are, what's in the way, where you want to go, and we can point you really quickly and efficiently to the resources that you need to do what you want to do with your business. So let's jump on a call. Let's have that conversation, and let's help you out as quickly as possible. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Builders Business Success Podcast. We'll be back live again in all of the different Facebook and YouTube platforms at 10 a.m. Sydney time, Tuesdays. So we'll be back next week, and it'll be the prioritised daily action list. You won't want to miss it. It's an absolute game changer. I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt. I think that's it. So